Right now, sitting quietly inside your skull, there is a brain that has never once seen the world you actually live in. It has no concept of what a phone is, no idea what a deadline means, and it has never encountered the words unread messages in its entire evolutionary history. What it does know is a world that vanished long ago, a world of forests and predators and roughly 150 familiar faces you would have known for your whole life. And yet every single morning, without ever thinking about it, you take that ancient brain and you plug it straight into a world it was never designed to handle. So when you feel worn out by lunchtime for no reason you can actually name, that exhaustion isn't some personal failure. It's the oldest hardware you own, quietly struggling to run software it was never built for. Here's the part that almost nobody ever stops to tell you. Your brain has barely changed at all. The last major redesign of the human mind finished tens of thousands of years ago, and then simply stopped. But the world around that unchanged brain rewrote itself completely in the space of just 2 centuries, which in evolutionary terms is less than the blink of an eye. So when you feel anxious for no reason you can point to, when you sit down to focus and feel your attention slipping straight through your fingers, when you reach the end of an ordinary day completely drained, even though the only thing you physically moved all day was your thumb, none of that means something is wrong with you. It means you are carrying a Stone Age brain through a modern life, and the two of them were never properly introduced. So let me walk you through exactly where they split apart, one system at a time, because once you actually see the gap between the brain you were handed and the world you're now using it in, you genuinely cannot unsee it ever again. Let's start with dopamine, because almost everyone gets it completely wrong. We love to call it the pleasure chemical, but that isn't really what it does. Dopamine is the go and get it chemical, the surge of raw motivation you feel in the moment right before a reward, not the quiet satisfaction you feel once you finally have it in your hands. For your ancestor, that surge was something genuinely rare and precious. It arrived when they stumbled onto a bush heavy with ripe berries, D for next Tuesday, because Tuesday simply wasn't out there in the dark hunting them. Yours, in a strange and very modern way, genuinely kind of is. But the single biggest split between the two brains, the one that quietly costs you the most, is the way each of them handles stress. For your ancestor, stress was always meant to be a short and violent sprint. A lion suddenly steps out from the long grass, the heart slams hard against the ribs, the entire body floods with sudden energy. You run for your life. You either escape it or you don't. And then, most importantly of all, the whole thing is completely over. That ancient alarm system was carefully engineered to fire for about 30 seconds, and then switch all the way back off again. Spike, act, reset. The real problem is that your modern stress almost never actually gets to reset. The email sitting unanswered in your inbox doesn't chase you down and then politely leave. The news cycle never genuinely reaches any kind of ending. The group chat is permanently sitting right there, always just one quiet little buzz away from pulling you straight back in again. So that ancient alarm, the one designed to scream for half a minute and then fall silent, simply stays switched on instead, low and quiet, and humming away in the background, not for 30 seconds, but for months and even years at a stretch. Your body, somewhere deep down, genuinely cannot tell the difference between a predator in the grass and an ordinary Monday morning, and it loyally runs the very same emergency program for both of them. The only real difference is that the lion eventually loses interest and wanders away. Your Monday never does. Then there is the whole matter of your tribe, which the modern world has quietly broken in a way that most people never even notice. Your ancestor knew, at the very most, around 150 people across their entire lifetime, and those familiar faces made up their whole world from the day they were born until the day they died. And that specific number is remarkably close to what this brain was actually built to handle. You, on the other hand, can very easily scroll past 150 different people before you've even finished your morning coffee, and almost every single one of them is carefully showing you the one chosen best moment of their entire week. So the ancient part of your brain whose only real job was to quietly track where you stand within your small group, the very same instinct that once kept your ancestors safe and accepted inside the warmth of the tribe, is now being forced to run that exact same comparison against thousands of complete strangers and their endless, polished highlight reels. You are not broken, and you are not somehow uniquely insecure. You are simply running a perfectly ancient social instinct against an utterly impossible new input, quietly comparing your ordinary, unedited Tuesday against everyone else's carefully chosen best day, over and over and over again, forever. And then there are two much quieter differences that sit underneath all of the others and shape far more of your life than you would ever think. The first one is sleep. Your ancestor drifted off to sleep with the setting of the sun, because in their world, the arrival of darkness meant one simple and unmistakable thing: rest, and nothing else. But now, a glowing screen sits just inches from your face at midnight, quietly and constantly insisting to the oldest part of your brain that it must surely still be the middle of the afternoon. And so the single most ancient rhythm you own gets gently overridden, night after night, by a thin and steady wash of blue light. The second one is boredom, and this is something we have very nearly lost altogether. For your ancestor, boredom was never once the enemy. It was actually the engine, the empty and restless stretch of open time that quietly pushed them to build something, to repair something, or to wonder about something far larger than themselves. The honest truth is that you have probably not been genuinely bored in years, because the very instant a small gap of empty time opens up anywhere in your day, you immediately and automatically rush to fill it with a glowing rectangle. And so the quiet, open space where brand new ideas used to slowly grow simply closes itself up and disappears, long before anything has ever had the chance to take root inside it. And this is really the point where I have to be completely honest with you, because I lived inside this exact trap for a very long time myself. For years, I genuinely believed that something was fundamentally wrong with me. I would sit down to do real, meaningful work and last all of 6 minutes before my mind quietly wandered off somewhere else. I would find myself completely wiped out by noon, despite having done nothing physically demanding at all. And I kept circling back again and again to the very same painful thought. Everyone else has so clearly figured all of this out, so what on earth is broken inside of me? And the answer, as it slowly turned out, is absolutely nothing at all. And that's the whole quiet tragedy hidden inside of it. Your brain is not malfunctioning in the slightest. It is doing its job perfectly, exactly as it was designed to, chasing the spike, scanning the horizon for danger, carefully measuring you against the group, and stubbornly refusing to ever fully switch off, which is precisely the same set of instincts that kept your ancestors alive across 40,000 unbroken years. It is just that it's now doing every single one of those brilliant, life-saving things inside a world that has very deliberately learned to hijack each instinct and then quietly sell it right back to you for a profit. The problem, as it turns out, was never actually you at all. The problem is simply the mismatch between the brain you quietly inherited and the strange new world you happened to wake up in. So here is the one single thing that I really want to leave you with today. And I do genuinely mean one, not some tidy little list of 10 clever tips. The very next time that something reaches in and pulls hard at you, that restless itch to check your phone, that cold little spike of dread about nothing in particular, that almost magnetic urge to refresh the page just one more time. I don't want you to try to fight it because honestly, fighting it almost never actually works. All I want you to do instead is to quietly and calmly name which ancient instinct it really is. Ah, that's just my dopamine system chasing after a berry that isn't really there. That one is only my old threat alarm going off again because of a harmless email. Because in the very instant that you manage to put a clear name to it, something subtle but genuinely enormous quietly happens. You stop being the instinct, and you slowly become the one who is calmly watching the instinct. On the graph of your own mind, you have just switched on the single node that your ancestor never once had any access to, the quiet observer, sitting patiently just behind all of the noise. They simply could not ever do that, but you can. And next time, we are going to go all the way inside that node together, deep into the strange and surprisingly powerful part of you that can watch a single thought rise up and then fall away again without ever once being swept along by it. Because that one quiet ability might just be the only thing that truly makes us different from the very brain we inherited. I'll see you there.